Originals.
Let's fire the dream machine. Don't press that button. Incredible. What up? It's me, Russel Hobbs, with the Gorillaz podcast. Welcome to Things I Like. Today I'm talking to another member of the Gorillaz family, the one and only
Jehnny Beth. Hello.
Jehnny, tell us who you are, what you are, and where you're from.
Oh, I'm French, but I lived in London for 10 years and just moved to Paris this year. And singer, crowd walker, radio host, songwriter, all that.
For sure.
And part of the Gorillaz family.
You know that.
A lot this year, actually.
Yeah. So seeing as we're in this fine dining establishment, I thought we could play a little game during this conversation called Afterlife Dinner Parties, where you choose people from past and present, 5 people that you'd most like to see in the same room or have a dinner party with. You with it?
Yes. First, I'd like to say that if I'm hosting a dinner party, I'm not going to host it on my own. So I'm going to say that first, in the room, if you're trying to picture the room now with the big table and the chandelier or whatever's going on, the candles.
Right.
So I'll have Jehnny Hostile with me.
Right.
So whether we count him as a guest or just my, he's hosting with me.
Sounds kind of sweet.
So that's the first thing. He's a long-time collaborator. I don't see myself doing anything without him being on my side. You know about that, don't you?
Right.
So that's the first thing. Then, if I have to choose my first guest, and I imagine her sitting at the end of the table, and I'd have a big chair, like a wooden chair, almost like a throne, because she's a queen. And it would be Nina Simone.
Yeah.
And I'll seat her there. And basically the dinner starts when she opens her knife. And the dinner would have to stop when she closes it. She's, the master of ceremony there. She's in control. And I don't know if she would say much. She was there a lot.
Got you.
But I'd really love to have her there. She'd be the guest of honor, let's say.
Excellent. So she's going to sing you a song. One song. What would that song be?
Little Girl Blue. I think there's an extreme softness into it that I really like.
Right.
And also it's always a song that resonated, that we talked about with Jehnny Hostile, and he always said that he would like this song to be played the day of his funeral. So I kind of always have this song somewhere locked in my heart. It's an amazing piece of music. I mean, a piano. Yeah, you can see she comes from classical training, and this is it's like Chopin intro. It's beautiful. But of course there's the fire, behind it. That intro on the piano.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun. Yeah, I'd like her to play that for me.
So, who's left and right of the Queen of Jazz?
So, on one side I'd put Jacques Brel, French singer. He was a big influence for me when I grew up, but I didn't notice. I think he started creeping in when I moved to England, and because when you move from your country, your culture from where you grew up kind of sort of comes back as a feedback, and so I started to listen a lot of Jacques Brel when I moved 10 years ago to London. I don't think I play one show without thinking about him, and there's something about the way he uses his body and his hands particularly, and he incarnates characters in the songs, same way like rappers would do, but he would be extremely intense, and that intensity is something that I've always strived to find in myself when I'm on stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Jack Bell will be there. And he was a very funny man as well. And he liked to party. And yeah, I'd love to have a conversation with him one day.
Is there a song he might play you?
Well, maybe his all-time classic. He didn't really like this song, but everybody likes this song. It's Ne me quitte pas.
Yeah.
Nina Simone covered it, actually. Yeah, I just realized that, actually. Ne me quitte pas, which means don't leave me. And people love this song because it's about someone who's begging not to be, left. But he said it was the song about an idiot.
A word? Why?
Because when someone wants to leave you, there's nothing you can do. I mean, that's why, you can't just go on your knees and beg. That's not going to make them stay,
Right.
I mean, there's a lot you can do. But begging is probably... Because in the song, he says, I'll become your shadow, I'll become the shadow of your hand, the shadow of your dog. So he's completely, the self-respect is gone. He just doesn't want to be left alone. It's a beautiful song.
I dream of home, I dream of life out of here. The dreams are small, my dreams don't know fear. Got my heart full of hope, I will change everything. No matter what I'm told, how impossible it seems. We did it before and we'll do it again. We're indestructible, even when we're tired. And we've been here before, just you and I. Don't try to rescue me, I don't need to be rescued.
And second to last?
I'd have Vanessa Del Rio. Vanessa Del Rio, she's an American porn actress from the 70s.
Gotcha.
She had Puerto Rican origins. She was one of the first to become a famous porn actress from, with Puerto Rican origins. She's extremely fun. She was one of the women who, when I heard her talk about sex, I found that it was very liberating.
Gotcha.
And very free.
Right.
And no drama. And just the fun aspect of it. And I really loved that. It really helped me. I found that really inspiring. And she's just, she'd be dialing me all the way through, So, yeah, that's already really great. Nina Simone, Jack Brel, Vanessa Del Rio, I like that. God, that wouldn't be boring at all. I love it.
Do you think there'd be any friction? Are you expecting any friction in your guests?
Yeah, maybe with Jack Brel. Because he was... he has his own views about women. He felt that women of his generation should be less concerned with mundane things.
Oh, really?
Should be less concerned with safety. Should be less concerned with protection, and that they should be more adventurous. And he felt that women who were, building a home and being mothers and being, he felt that was, for him, not all that it should be. It should be more than that.
Yeah.
So, but he sort of sometimes categorized women like that's what they are,
Oh, word?
So, but in some ways he was right as well, I think. The idea of trying to bring the man into this, it's also a mistake in some ways. All
right. Now, I'm really interested in the outlooks between someone like Nina Simone, who obviously is coming from a different age, different era, and this very liberated Puerto Rican porn star. What you think?
Oh, between them two, how it would go? I don't know. I really honestly don't know. It's really hard to predict what Nina Simone would say. I think she's quite mysterious, which I love about her. I love the way she would go on stage and dominate her audience and be extremely severe. I think performers should be scary.
Right.
I think audiences should be impressed and scared. I like that aspect of it. Of course, they should be lifted and inspired as well, but there's also an aspect of dominance that I really like, especially with Nina Simone. She would just stare at them standing up, not moving, until there's this complete silence, I found that amazing.
Right. And who's your third guest?
Louise Brooks is my next guest. I would sit her next to Vanessa Del Rio. Something about these women sitting next to each other I really like.
Wow.
So Louise Brooks is coming from a different era. She's from the 30s. She was famous for a while for acting in different silent movies. The Diary of a Lost Girl. It was movies by a German director called Pabst, I think. And she was unique, different. She had a classic haircut. That's how you recognized her.
Love it.
She symbolized, the free spirit of the woman of the 30s at the time. But she was actually a real free spirit in her life. And the way she would act was very modern. So modern that she had to stop acting because she couldn't find a place in Hollywood when she came back, and stopped for a while, and it became a sort of a cult,
Gotcha.
and reappeared when she was much later in her life to be celebrated again, especially in Europe. But she was a real example to me because she was very different, and she had her own style, and she was very modern in the way she was doing things by just being herself. And she was liberated. There's stories about her sleeping around with a lot of the crew in film sets and having this kind of free life. Yeah. So, and I could just stare at her for hours. She looks incredible, very beautiful, but not a standard beauty. It was kind of an androgynous beauty.
Word.
And a timeless thing with her. Yeah.
Word.
And she would not be acting. Even if her characters were falling in love, or she would not be acting girly, she wouldn't be, she would be herself, like she would be a real person.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Moving on, who's your final guest for dinner?
I was thinking of Josephine Baker.
Gotcha.
In between the two wars, she was an American dancer, young American dancer, black American, and she moved to Paris to be a dancer, and she became really famous in the cabaret scenes.
Yeah.
And she used to have a special dance with bananas around her waist, bare chests, and she would dance like a savage.
Wow.
And people would go to see her, and she was an attraction, but she was raising big questions at the time because it was, with questions with the colonies, and, were people there to laugh at her? Were people seduced by her? Was she a man? Because she was not, she was feminine, but she was also acting like a savage. So she was like, is that feminine? Is this, she was an enigma, and I really like that. That's really what art should do, And as a performer, I think she was a catalyst for a lot of questions of her time.
Right.
And she became a target, inevitably, because when you do that, you become a target. So I like her. And then she was a real hero during the Second World War. She really fought for freedom, and she was instrumental in the liberation, and she was really brave. But her story is really interesting for that.
Yeah.
So, I like her. She doesn't have to come with her bananas. I don't care. But she can. I mean, that's fine. She can come bare-chested if she wants to as well, but she doesn't have to. She can come with a nice dress or nice trousers, whatever she wants to wear.
Well, thanks so much, Jehnny.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. That was good. There's only one man at my dinner party.
Hey, but that's all right, Well, I might join you, so you're going to have two.
Oh, please, yeah. Oh, yeah, and Johnny Hostai's there, so we're good. That's going to be a nice meal.
All right, that sounds fine. Tell me, do you think these people want to see each other again?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. In my head, they do.
So thanks so much again for coming, Jehnny.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me, and thank you for coming to my dinner party.
Man, I loved it.
Oh, you're welcome anytime again.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thanks for listening to Gorillaz Podcast with Deezer. Now get out. That was funny.
We got the power to be loving each other no matter what happens. We got the power to do that. Yeah. We got the power to be ringing the great bell out there above us. We got the power to do that.
Originals.